Me, Anuraag himself.
Oh
Welcome
man.
back.
It looks like these players have already started a couple turns ago. I don't know. I literally just transitioned. I'm gonna guess that there may have been a little bit delay, but finally, after all these games of Chalice on Chalice, we have a blue mirror match. So
Yeah.
that's pretty exciting.
And the biggest thing to note is that glaring last hope. We just got done talking about it in play. Got to be the biggest deal in this match, I would say, other than a Jace. Planeswalker's staying alive and at a healthy 5 loyalty. Looks like a very commanding position for Kenji.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Kenji is 11-1. Okay, yeah. So this could be a very critical round. I mean, I don't know. It's a 1,400 players, but maybe like an X2-1 could sneak in if something wrong happens in the next round. But Liliana at 5 ticking up. That's quite the nightmare. I don't want to be on the other side of that, no matter what deck I'm playing against or playing with.
Yeah, and has the Baleful Strix to block for it, and then just so much card advantage to even be able to get back a Baleful Strix. You know how powerful Strix is. Like the Last Hope is so powerful in this deck.
Yeah. Actually, that card is really interesting. I feel like the -2 is criminally underplayed in Legacy, at least in certain matchups. Like when I play with Miracles and people like they get the Liliana going online. They rarely like try to set up like the Baleful Strix buyback sort of
Yeah,
situations. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
They give you 4 turns to find a Council Judgment, right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Whereas like the 1/1 just beating in drawing cards would probably kill me just as handily. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, the Utah's gonna preordain here. I don't know if yeah. Well, he kept the Jace.
Top.
Yeah, there we go. And there it is. It's a battle of the Lilianas.
All right. That's what we came to see. A mirror match, as mirrored image as you can be here. All we need is a fetch land for another underground sea here. All right, and the Jace gets slammed. Doesn't look like Yuta has a force will here, so
Right. So Kenji immediately Fate Seals, which makes sense when your opponent plays Lightning Bolt in their deck. Um, I was gonna say like maybe if Utah draws like a Bolt Snap Bolt, he can take care of the Liliana. But now that there's like 10 points, 11 points of loyalty on the board, it's gonna get a lot harder to do that.
yeah, this could be a lot to overcome here. And then the toughest part is that the most effective way to deal with this much loyalty with Planeswalker is going to be with creatures, and the creatures of Baleful Strix automatically die to the Last Hope, and then Gurmag can easily be bounced by Jace now that it's at 5 loyalty. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a tough one to get through.
So what do you do here? There's a Brainstorm and a Jace in Utah's hand with a bunch of dead removal spells. You play the Jace or you play the Brainstorm?
Oh, I think you play the Brainstorm.
Why is
You
that?
really want to make a land drop, I think, because if we're on parity on cards and everything else, the match is probably going to end up being to a point where you're gonna have to play a couple spells, like 2 Baleful Strix or something, to try and get something in on this Planeswalker, since you're behind on loyalty on the Liliana,
Makes sense.
namely.
Plus, I guess you could draw into something like Snapcaster Mage. That would be really good right there. Two back, probably the Diabolic. Oh, he kept one Diabolic Edict. I guess the Swamp is not so good here, so he's going to put that one back too. Shuffle it away with Bloodstained Mire.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough in this game one because these decks still have a lot of dead removal, like Edict and uh, Push and
Yeah.
Kolaghan's Command, to actually establish a board that can attack this Liliana.
Actually, I can't see too clearly, but does Kenji actually have a hand? Like or is it just like maybe under the table or something, or does he actually just have no
Uh,
cards?
I do see a him in the graveyard for Yuta, so it is possible there. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he has a hand.
Well, there's Force Will. That's a pretty good insurance draw for now. Actually, I kind of feel like the advantage bar may have been like towards Kenji originally, but now it's going to slowly creep back towards Yuta because we have the lightning bolt to just buy turns. So the Liliana is not even that scary, and I guess you actually get priority with your own Liliana, um, thanks to the lightning bolt.
Right.
Yeah, this is actually a lot closer than I thought it would be, which is really interesting because I've watched a couple like high level players play Grixis control, like Noah Walker, Rudy Brixa in the LPL a while back, and like those games were actually really swingy. Like one moment you'd see one person ahead, and then like 2 3 draw steps later, it would just go back the other way. Man, maybe that's just the nature of a mirror match.
Yeah, let's see. Well, it looks like did I miss a brainstorm? Did he already activate the Jace for a brainstorm here? Yeah, must have. He's Kenji's correct in his fetch. So it looks like he brainstormed. He's now fetching. Gonna have to push something through a force wall here.
Bird is in. I guess we're just cycling this. That's fine. Probably the best you can get with it anyway. You think any of these players have like a main deck Pyroblast? I know that was like trendy for a while. Like Reed Duke mentioned after his Grand Prix, like in his Grand Prix report that he would probably play one blast moving forward. That'd be a huge game in this situation.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Some people like to play Pyroblast main deck. I've seen it. I mean, I've seen people play it in Land's main deck. I mean, we're in a world right now where it just feels there's a lot of blue. With Grixis and Miracles both being top decks, and wouldn't if I saw Pyroblast this game, I would not be shocked. That's for sure.
There it is. Yeah. Okay. So double lightning bolt gonna cause some problems here for Kenji. Kenji only has one card in hand. Makes sense. He brainstormed and played a land for turn. So I think you would maybe want to consider lightning bolting like before your opponent gets to untap with Force of Will, like a hard cast Force of Will. So let's see if
This does have 2 bolts, so if one did get forced on the upkeep,
yeah, then the second one would.
I wouldn't be that upset about it because then you get to untap with all. You notice he made all of his land drops here, so you'll get to untap with all your mana. And still not have to worry too much, and Kenji wouldn't be able to cast something like a Culligan's that could be caught off of this Jace or a bolt of his own. Well, would still be able to cast a bolt, but since I have 2, I would not mind doing it on the upkeep.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, just like sort of time walk him if they do have the Force of Will.
Yeah, just kind of swing it back.
Kenji's hand looks very, kind of lackluster. Did we resolve the brainstorm yet, or has he still got to put 2 cards back?
Yeah, we got to put 2 back.
Force of Will and the Snapcaster seem pretty good. The Gurmag is like medium in the face of Jace.
Right.
Edict is like, we could do better than that. Oh, he's actually
gonna
put the Force of Will back. That's exciting.
They're going to try and make a Snapcaster play here. Do we have a Culligan in the graveyard? No. We haven't seen that from either side yet.
Correct, yeah.
I think that's going to be one of the bigger swings. Being able to lower a Planeswalker and then also get a creature like a Snapcaster. Like a Snapcaster Culligan's chain is definitely what these players are trying to establish, which is why making these land drops are so important.
Yeah, which is really surprising because, like, for control decks, like, typically that's what you want, right? You want to have all the land drops in place so you can cast all your spells. Although I would even argue that some control decks, like Miracles, you don't actually need all your lands in play. But for a deck like Grixis Control, where you're casting all these like 3 mana spells and like Snapcaster flashing back 3 mana spells and things like that, certainly. You know what? So maybe I take back my earlier statement where I was sort of like talking down Diabolic Edict. Your Mag Angler does seem like a pretty hard hitting trump in this mirror, just as a creature that avoids like Fatal Push and like Lightning Bolt and all those.
Lily plus.
yeah, exactly.
It might be the only creature, unless either player is playing a true name, that can survive a Lily plus.
Inventoric is such a silly card.
Yeah, Legacy staple. There we go.
Now, here's an interesting thing. The sequencing on this, I don't know if the Liliana has already ticked up this turn, but if the Himdatarok was played beforehand, it would.
I don't think it has been.
Okay, yeah, then that's pretty good sequencing. I like that. Hello, are we?
All right. I didn't see it. Yuta has an edict in hand. Is that right?
There was at least one edict, either it's in his hand or on top of the deck.
Oh, it is in his hand. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
This makes sense because otherwise, I might have thought about bouncing. If you were forced to bounce the Jace, maybe you want to sequence the him after the bounce if that's something you were locked into doing. So it looks like it's going to be edict here. And you see Kenji already knows, picking it up already.
Jason Mind Sculptor like just does too much. I wonder if they would ever like consider like nerfing cards and releasing nerfed versions of cards and things like that. Be a cool way to get like duels out in the open.
You want to nerf some duels?
Yeah. Or
how are we gonna nerf them?
I don't even know, to be honest. Some people have like people are way smarter than me and they come up with like good ideas. So I'd probably just like piggyback off of something on the internet. Just
sounds good to me.
Yeah. The smart people.
Get more people playing duels, man. Let's get more people playing Legacy. I'm with it.
That's what I'm talking about. Which is why, like, I mean, like a while ago, years ago, I used to be very upset when I had, heard about like, oh no, they're reprinting this card I spent so much money on. But now it's like, I'm happy because I get to play against like, stronger players, things like that.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Kenji does have a full grip. Is 4 cards. There's another Gurmag. Got to put 2 back for his brainstorm. It looks like. What are you thinking?
Well, you got to handle the ultimate. So the Kolaghan's command is gonna
be a must.
Yeah, it's locked. Then I don't actually know about the other one. This is tough because does the Gurmag? That is a Gurmag that he has in his hand, right?
That is a Gurmag. Gurmag, Belvatry's brainstorm, Kolaghan's.
That's actually so.
Ooh, let's see how he's going to sequence this. Start with the Gurmag, maybe.
Yeah.
Never saw a Bolt, Kenji.
That's true. That would have been huge if he had it earlier.
Yeah. Especially since he's already seen his Snapcaster with his Lillian play. Because if you notice, Yuta hasn't found a Snapcaster yet. I think that's a big point in the Lily fight.
Right. And this is what I'm talking about, right? That Force Will on the Snapcaster just seems so aggressive. Like, yeah, I mean, it seems like the kind of play that says like, hey, I'm all in on this Liliana getting to 7 loyalty and ulting because that's going to win the game. But really, like, I feel like Kenji's Liliana is going to do so much more work, buying back Snapcaster mages to like just constantly attack and pressure the opposing planeswalkers. And if you kill it, I get it back again, rinse and repeat sort of style.
I never feel good about it whenever I play the card. Yeah. That's for sure. Spend 4 turns doing nothing. We're playing Legacy. It's tough. It's hard to swallow.
But again, like going back to what I was saying earlier, like it does feel like it's just like going so back and forth right now, right? Like so Kenji was in the lead originally, then Yuta managed to like steal tempo, and now Kenji's getting back at it. Thanks to aggressive force of will there.
Yeah, that's definitely what I would call it. That was aggressive. There wasn't even a Bolt in the yard. It would have been a brainstorm.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see. Now we might have to see this Jace minus on this Gurmag. Or maybe you can't really get back at Strix because the Lily's still in play on the other side.
Mm-hmm. But then it's also like if you bounce the Gurmag, then Snapcaster Mage can K-command the Jace.
Yeah. Well, we do have Yuta does have a force over here.
Here's another question: if you think, so he's actually just brainstorming here. Oh, and he hits the Snapcaster. That's pretty gas.
Yeah.
But I was actually thinking like if you have the Force of Will, you think you just Force of Will the K command on the flashback rather than the Snapcaster Mage itself?
Yeah. Get him to use all the Yeah, I can see that because you want to get it out the graveyard.
Right.
I mean, you don't have any other way to exile cards out the graveyard. So, especially since you have the Liliana to clean up the Snapcaster, which is points to exactly why countering that Snapcaster just seemed very aggressive. Oh, look, we got a
Ooh, and that was a huge turn. I swear I just love it when that kind of
wow.
sequencing happens, right? Like force your hand with this Hymn to Torok, then just dunk on you with the rest of my cards. Like, but that was a very like, uh, I mean, maybe it was a forced brainstorm off the Jace, but hitting that Snapcaster was like clutch, very clutch. Actually, honestly, the way that Utah's been playing this entire time on coverage has been really, really impressive.
Yeah. It's like you kind of want to call them like how we talked about how that forceful might have been aggressive, but I'm not gonna say I haven't just done some counter cantrips with fluster storms and like we got to make a move here, you know. All right. So the Snapcaster's in the graveyard now, so we might actually see this Lily go down to get for the Snapcaster here, which makes things a little awkward because his Baleful Strix is in play too. So you kind of want to plus it, but we'll get the brainstorm and find out what we really want. Riptide Culligan's command and looks as a Swamp Culligan's command has the lightning bolt from earlier.
Is there another lightning bolt in the graveyard? Is there like a way? I don't know if there's like a Snapcaster in the
There
yard.
there is another one. There's a Snapcaster in the yard. There's a bolt in the graveyard. So could buy back a snap for the bolt.
But there's no way we could like bolt, snap, bolt, and K command this turn. Bolt, snap, bolt. Yeah, we don't have enough cards. Okay. I
Not enough mana.
mean, with the swamp, we would have enough mana, but like we just don't have enough. Like we can't. Yeah, we can't have the cake
Bolt,
basically.
snap, bolt. Yeah, we would need one more land too, and we had to put it back. You can K command. What is it? Discard. What was the call here? Discard two to the Lily.
Right.
Okay,
So,
that has to happen. Went up with the Lily. Has a bolt left over. Oh man, now we're looking at it go back the other way here.
yeah, it's just these
Jeez.
Lilianas are just like teetering at the edge constantly. It's just like a who's gonna falter first. You know what's interesting too is that the well, you know what? I don't know. I'm wondering if we could use like either of these Lilianas to like dig deeper into the deck. But like imagine if these were also just ticking down, like grabbing value cards and things like that. But and the Snapcaster Mage is like all these X1 bodies could just not be worth it. Blocker effects
Yeah.
are so powerful. So.
All right, this is gonna force the Snapcaster here. Oh no, there. Yeah, this is gonna force a Snapcaster. It looked like Kenji picked up a bolt too, which is right on time.
Yeah. Uh, Genji also has the Forcible in his hand, probably. I
Now
guess.
it looks like Kenji's got an underground and a bolt.
Okay.
Or I'm gonna look at the wrong hand here. Is that Yuta's hand? I think Yuta had a Snapcaster that he picked up off that Culligan's, right?
Yeah.
Culligan's was shoot the Lily, pick up the snap.
And I'm guessing there was a swamp on top of Yuta's deck too, right? We saw that off the brainstorm last turn.
That's right.
We could like snap brainstorm, put the swamp in our hand. You know, do a
Yeah.
little mental fist
Hide the
bump.
bolt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then we get to go a little crazy, right? I mean, the Liliana's gonna probably tick up and kill the uh, Liliana's.
Snapcaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a minus on the snap and then snap Culligan's right here.
Yeah.
And then
Mine.
hold the bolt.
Oh, we could
And
go.
then bolt the Jace. And then bolt the Jace.
Yeah, there you go. There
That's
you
the
go.
play that's lined up right here, Kenji. Kenji's got it lined up. So we'll likely see a minus snap Culligan's.
I like that play a lot, actually. So
Because if you can take this brainstorm every turn off the table.
Haha, there it is. Another Grim. Oh my gosh. Nice Inquisition.
Yep. Joke's on you.
I don't know why, but I just get so happy when like my opponent Inquisitions me and like sees like a Force Will and a Jace, and then like the 2 turns later the Jace is just like in play, like just a
I
few.
love that one. So I like to keep some 7-land hands sometimes in lands. 7 reasons to keep. When you get that turn 1 Thoughtseize, throw it down. Joke's on you.
Oh, there it is. There's the first
Yep. The first
minus.
minus on this. This is what we were looking for.
Well, that's kind of
Knows the coast is clear with the Inquisition and everything.
yeah.
Nice. Force the Snapcaster out.
Oh man.
Snapcaster won't be able to block though, so his Jace or Lily will be at risk on this next turn, but has to get 2 damage on this. Oh no, it doesn't have. Does Kenji have a land? Yeah, it has a land. Okay, cool. So it can play the land to bolt the Jace. Now there's a C in hand, so he's gonna have to make a land drop first if he's deciding.
Hmm.
I think he still deciding if this is what he wants to do, because he stands to lose a Snapcaster to Lily at minimum, which kind of opens up his Lily or Jace to die into a bolt that might be hidden from this brainstorm. But depending on how the brainstorm was stacked, it's possible that taking him off the Jace could really affect things. I like killing Jace here.
Yeah, 100% too. I mean, the Gurmag is sweet, but like killing Jace is just so powerful here. Now I
Yeah.
wonder, we probably like just bolting the last hope right here, right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is there a world where we can just like stall and
Well, you could do like an aggressive play. You don't want to tell your hand first. You probably want to get an attack with the Snapcaster first. Oh no. To just kill the thing. Because I was
yeah,
thinking maybe you get back a Gurmag and double Gurmag. I can't see the graveyard here to see what's really going on.
right.
But I mean, this game's been going for a while here, so I imagine casting double Gurmag is probably not that hard.
Actually, if you can attack here, do you kill the Jace or the Liliana?
I think you probably just return fire, and we're back at the spot where we are. I mean, this is the last time you're going to see this Snapcaster's turn, and if they minus to get back to the Snapcaster, all
Yeah.
right, yeah, we're going down with the Jace.
I mean, that kind of makes sense because we've got Gurmag Angler in our hand, right? So like this way, the Gurmag can't get bounced. We can only
Right, and then kind of forces the Lily to plus on the Snapcaster if you have an Edict or whatever.
yeah.
And then, I mean, you just have the Lily advantage at this point too. Man, this game.
This is a really like back and forth, just like a boxing match, chess boxing, if you will. Kind of like next level sequencing, and like a lot of this is just very this like tap out Jundi control kind of thing, but
Yeah.
still like choosing how you want to fight the battles is
Oh wow, that's a Culligan's in hand with the zoom in and a Gurmag of his own.
yeah.
Oh
Snapcaster
wow.
Kolagon's command is just like an absurd combination.
What was that 2 to the Lily?
Do the Lily, buyback Snap, and then Snap.
Edict, yeah. All right, we got a full clear here. So now we're gonna see some work on Yuta's end. This is already drew the swamp and the bolt. Did we know the top part of the deck of Yuta on this turn?
Any of
Was
like
this
a
a
Baleful
fresh one?
Strix? I don't remember. I'm not sure. I know we put 2 cards back for the Hymn to Torak when we brainstormed,
That's right.
but I'm very bad at remembering the top card of my library.
That's funny coming from you.
Looks like it's.
All right, look at 2 swamps.
Oh, that's tragic.
Got to go down.
Milda preordained, but buyback Snapcast. I mean, maybe it's just not a bad idea here to like. No, there's no way we can like Snapcast, get back Gurmag, and play it this turn 1-2. Actually, yeah, we could, huh?
Yeah, we could. We could do, yeah, run it right back.
And if you
Oh,
think
yeah, plus we have 2 swamps in our hand over on U's end.
if you think about it in like terms of attrition too, like the real kicker card like for protection from Gurmag is like the Diabolic Edict, right? And Kenji has already flashed back one edict, so he's used one of his 2 of his 4 activations. Assuming he's got 2 in the deck, could have more.
Right.
Um, that might be like one of the real like if you're like getting super grindy about it, you got to do things like count how many Force of Wills left, how many like edicts left, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, the game goes long enough. Now, the interesting part is to see where Yuda's going to put these bodes, because if you put the Lily down at 2, it kind of takes off the -2 on a buyback on that Snapcaster. Now the Snapcaster, you might want to kill the Snapcaster where it can't attack the Lily, because you got a fragile blocker here.
Yep.
So maybe you're willing to trade everything here. I mean, if he goes for discard here and takes out this Gurmag, I mean, Yuta doesn't know that Kenji has Gurmag in hand, but could be a big play, especially if the Lily goes to 2.
Well,
this board could be, just Gurmag versus.
I'm pretty sure Kenji got the Gurmag off of the Kolaghan's command, so that should be public.
Oh, what was that it? Okay, I thought he had a Kolaghan's for the snap for the edict. Did I miss that? Oh no, he snapped for the Kolaghan's, right?
It's just like a winding, never-ending circle. I'm sure he did it at some point.
Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. At this point, who knows?
Oh man, look at that! That is crazy.
Attack, block. Okay. Get the snap back. We have snap Kolaghan's again. That's huge. So it looks like we're in this Liliana circle of nightmare, and we'll keep some. We'll get some survivability to these X1 creatures. Like if this Lily goes down,
which I'd be very surprised if it didn't. Like,
right? What? Just looking at the way Yuta was holding his cards, that kind of fake out force.
Yeah.
you gonna do something? Got my hand on this card. You ready?
I always try to do that when I'm in like playing in paper, and it just never works. I'm not really good at selling the. I can't get in my opponent's heads. I just get lucky with the top of my deck. Oh shoot! Are players gonna deck out here? There's no way.
Oh man, I would love to see that. Oh, that would be great. Natural decking. Win by natural deck. That would be insane. All right. 3 threats in 1 turn. Alleviated Liliana. Every turn has been the biggest turn.
Yeah. I agree. But it's like I don't know if that is intuitive. It's just so hard for me to like fathom like how you can like develop like a strategic plan to like fight through all of this attrition. Like it's just so grindy. Like,
yeah, I think when the game has devolved into this point, it was a little weird there when they're both the Planeswalkers in there.
Yeah,
but at a certain point, you just have to like make the most value every turn and focus on that, and like less. What is my opponent going to do next turn? Because you need to be as efficient with time.
Right.
Because look how long this game's going.
Yeah, I'm worried this might end up in a draw. We're still in game 1.
Right? I think the game snowballed a little harder at post board, though.
Big Money Inquisition.
Okay.
Well, it's not that bad. Like.
Nice.
Yeah.
Put both the lands in play. Got 2 lands right here. Here we go.
Big draw. Brainstorm. That would be so sick.
Oh, yeah, right there with the fetching hand.
Yeah. Need to convert those extra lands into, like, currency. What does Kenji have in his hand, though?
I don't think anything's known right now. It's looking. We've seen 2 forces already from Kenji, I think.
Ooh. Okay, look at that. And it just, like, he didn't even think about it. He just, like, slammed that force on the table. It was like, no, sir.
Yep. I like the upkeep snap there.
You probably force a will almost anything there. Like even a Baleful Strix, yeah, I'd force that in it.
Yeah, definitely a Snapcaster though.
2 a turn is, I mean, it's fine clock. The game's gonna keep.
Yeah, it's a 4-turn clock here.
And this brainstorm is actually just a huge draw because like I feel like in these sort of situations, like the first person to draw a cantrip usually is able to snowball that, like find another cantrip, then set up the next turns, and okay, yeah, here it is, just lethal. Yep. All right, players are definitely picking up the pace. They can feel the heat of the clock on their backs. So
Nice. So how would you approach this post board? We don't see. I've seen Bitter Blossom be a really potent card against and for Grixis decks.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that
I
card.
wonder if they have any of those in the world of Baleful Strix. I think Bitter Blossom's king.
Yeah. So I mean, like this game was a pretty good example of like what's like one of the best interactions in this match, like what you want to be doing, right? And that's probably just revolving around the Snapcaster Cold Guns command interaction. So I think really like in this sort of Jund mirror match, my opinion is that the cards, like if you just have a bunch of bombs, like really hard to answer threats, they stick and just aim or whatever.
Yeah,
Typically that's where you want to be. Like those are the cards you want. Like I know for a while, like Rudy even said he had like Grave Titan in his sideboard because it was just like
I have heard that. Yeah.
yeah, it's like thick, like, and so
Yeah.
in this situation, like those are the cards that I kind of want. I mean, Bitter Blossom isn't necessarily as powerful, but it certainly is a lot more elegant than something like Grave Titan. So I do like those kind of cards. I mean, if we look at the
I don't know. I'm really high on Bitter Blossom for it being like now obviously it's really weak to Liliana Last Hope, which you saw how powerful that card was right there. I think if either player didn't have one, I mean, it'd run away.
yeah.
Like if it didn't show up in the game right there. So
Actually, that game was so back and forth. Like both players had to have their own Lilianas. Both players had to have their own Jaces.
their own Jace, yeah.
The one thing about Bitter Blossom that I guess is kind of interesting is like Liliana is definitely a powerful card and it's really good against the Bitter Blossom. But like, what if you start like overloading the Liliana? Kind of like how like Miracles would like sometimes keep in counterbalance and like all these other enchantments to run out the Abrupt Decays from their opponent, and then like the Lily,
Right.
the Lily can only tick up on one creature a turn. So if you make like multiple 1/1s, like in Strix and Snapcaster, like
Yeah.
then,
Well, most directly, I like the Bitter Blossom against like Jace
yeah, that's good.
and Baleful Strix and Snapcaster Mage. It's like a mini Lily in the X1 fight. Obviously you have to get into combat with those creatures, but it's fun.
I wonder if either of these players have cards like Nile Spellbomb. That seems kind of like a sweet card to bring in this places
Yeah.
itself and also is like sort of disruptive.
Yeah. You don't see too much of that in the Snapcaster decks. I
Right.
guess you'd see it more in Grixis than anywhere because they can actually play it with the black mana, but the the synergy between the surgical and the Snapcaster, when you tie a deck with counter spells and discard spells, I mean it's kind of hard to pass up on playing surgical as your primary graveyard interaction.
Right, yeah. And actually, the just like a random tangent, but that's probably one of the reasons why Dredge has been doing so well lately. 'Cause just all these blue Snapcaster decks, like they instantly pick up surgical and then like targeted. Like if you can build your deck around it. Anyways, looks like Utah is going to keep his 7. I don't think Kenji mulliganed either. And Pyroblast
No.
and Batorak is a really good subset of cards to have in the early turns.
Yeah, with a couple cantrips as well. Looks like the only other land in hand for Yuta is Badlands.
Yeah.
So probably gonna try and pick up a fetch land and go with these brainstorms.
Hey, and there it is, the end step brainstorm. Typically not looked at it's typically frowned upon, but in this situation, I actually think it's quite a necessary play, given that Utah has 2 extra copies of brainstorm in his hand.
You ready for the Power Blast?
Man, that is, oh, dude, oof.
I love it.
Yeah. That's kind of like the moment like when your opponent like you force will their Aether Vial on turn 1 and they just play like another one on turn 2. Like feels
Yeah.
bad, but I don't think I mind the Pyroblast there. Maybe Kenji was like picking up like a little bit of weakness or something like that. or just wants
Well, it is kind of unorthodox. You were getting into it about the brainstorm in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of signals two things, either you're have multiple cantrips and you're trying to make a land drop, or you have multiple brainstorms, so it's kind of like a 50-50 on whether it's good or not.
BBD actually wrote an article about this after Richmond, and he said he does it actually a lot more. Just like turn one, Underground Sea, Brainstorm, Pass, and he was like, the way the deck plays out really is that like on turns 1 to 4 to turns 1 to 3, like you literally want all your lands to be turned sideways because this is a control deck, but it's also like it's a different variant of control, like a tap out control deck.
Mm-hmm.
And so for that reason, like you just want to use your mana, and obviously there's certain situations where maybe you don't do it, but
Right.
a lot of the
Which
time,
you're generally not running out of cards, so.
yeah. Okay, wow, this is a turn 3 Gurmag Angler. Kenji doing the
Strong.
yeah, you can see Kenji like, I'm not happy with that, but lets it resolve. So
Here we go. Liliana the Veil, you ready? No.
how busted would that be?
Yeah, days have passed. Yeah, gotta get back this Baleful Strix.
So now we might be playing the tempo game here.
Mhm.
Blast this
Yep.
Strix, blast that Strix. Oh, we also do we have an edict somewhere?
Haven't seen it. I think there's an edict on Yu's end, huh? Yeah, it's a him. All right, well, that's strong.
That's really strong. I just think him to Torok is fundamentally just a really
Yeah,
dumb card. Um,
it is. It's backbreaking for sure. I mean, you don't have to play hard to get that 2-for-1.
and look at that. He
Yeah.
doesn't even have to burn his Fire Blast on the Baleful Strix. Ooh, please blast this. Please blast this.
He's got a tit for tat. Come on. Nah, he's saving it for a Jace. With that Gurmag, I mean, there's not much that can remove this Gurmag here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess the Jace is the trump. That's what you have to play around. Like, because there, I guess in this sort of game state, right? It is pretty contained. You really want to just figure out what are the cards that maybe matter, and I guess maybe Ponder doesn't. But I mean, it would have been nice. I whatever. I just it thought it would be fun. Maybe it's probably incorrect. This is why I'm never at the 11-1 seat in Grand Prix.
Mm.
How do you feel about the Spell Pierce?
There's a Spell Pierce on top of the deck.
Yeah, it's probably
I
good
don't
in this
know
matchup.
that,
Maybe just not in this spot, but
Well, if you look how Kenji opened this game with Power Blast on Brainstorm, then Spell Pierce is like in his wheelhouse.
yeah. Being Strix is done.
Yeah.
Another blast.
Also, Jace does cost 4 mana.
Yeah, so Pierce is actually going to be probably very good, especially in this kind of situation, right? Like,
I do like Spell Pierce though. I've been playing some blue decks recently in Legacy, and whenever I play against these Hymn to Torok decks, I always want the Spell Pierce.
and that is the concession right there. Pyroblast on Brainstorm equals Scoop. Okay, scoop.gg. So we are actually going to go into game 3 now. Yeah, this game actually was like, so like game 1 we saw was just like a slugfest, right? Yeah, it was just like a punch you in the face. All right, get punched back.
Yeah, it was a grinder. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just blows for blows. Every turn was a huge turn. 3 spells every turn on both players' side. 3 abilities or spells every turn. 3 effects. Turn after turn after turn.
And this game was just kind of like the exact opposite, where it's just like, all right, big fish, zombie fish,
All the way.
all the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
turn 3 fish all the way.
Take a look at this though. So on between the play and the draw, it looks like Utah's going to recalibrate his deck a little bit, cut down on Baleful Strixes, and put back in some turn 1 discard that he might be able to play, like in Thoughtseize and Inquisition. Was that another zombie?
That makes sense.
I also do like that Utah has cut a bunch of his Force Wills. That doesn't seem like the best card in this kind of match.
No. Not when everybody's tapping out every turn. Him and Torok's in the format. I mean, in the match heavy. So
Right.
top decking a Force of Will with 4 lands in play when you need to like make a play is not good on the back foot, especially being on the draw. There's nothing like in particular I think you want to force. Like by the time a Lily or a Jace being cast, Lily's him the Torok's already been cast, and that forces a huge liability. I think.
I think another big part of it is that like in this matchup, your answers just line up really well against your opponent's threats, right? Like you think about it, right? You've got your opponent's got like Jace, Last Hope, Baleful Strix, Snapcaster Mage,
Yeah.
maybe a couple spells, and you've got like Bolt, Burn, counter
Yeah.
spells, Pyroblast, all those sort of action, right? So it's not like you really you're hungry for like some sort of deranged answer, like basics against like an Ayabugan or something. All right, players gonna keep their hand. I guess they realize they're low on time. Wait, did Utah mulligan that?
No, it looks like a 7. We got a Power Blast, a few lands. Another thing I want to say about Force Will is like, if you're seeing people Pyroblast Brainstorm on turn 1, then like I'm definitely not pitching a blue card of any kind to a Force Will. If you're gonna Pyroblast my Ponder, I'm definitely not gonna pitch to a Force.
Oh mama, there it is. There's that Bitter Blossom.
Number 1 stunner right there.
Uh,
On the play too. Does he have protection to push it through? A Spell Pierce hiding it from any possible discard.
yeah, that's heads up. Oh, but that Spell Pierce is gonna get some massive value here on the Bitter Blossom, especially with the Pyroblast to black it up.
Yeah, the Spell Pierce. Is that what you had? Spell Pierce to go with the Pyroblast? Yeah, sure does. With the him behind it. Wow.
So that tells you the kind of like mentality he's in for this game, right? Like I don't want to tap out because he had the Badlands. He could have played it, but instead he's like, I want to hold up my counter magic, play a little bit defensively. My opponent's got the initiative right now.
Yeah, you got a parry.
3 lands. That's a lot of lands it can.
Nice.
Brainstorm the format doesn't really care. Bitter Blossom? There's no way.
Oh, there's a way. I think in the LPL we saw somebody playing 2. No, Wilson played 1 main deck.
Okay.
I don't know if he had a second one in the sideboard.
Kind of frightening.
I was in top 8 in Columbus for the team open, and there was a list. A Grixis player I played against, I think that played 2 main deck. Wasn't too good against the Eldrazi team though. All right, here we go. Here's the fight, and the swingiest part about this whole thing is Yuta's gonna come back with a him after it.
Right. See, I love that sort of thing. That's just like the bounce back sort of style. Like this is exactly how like the Miracles Mirror plays out all the time, where you wait for your opponent to like overcommit and then you get to hit him with the whammy. But then again, maybe that's what Kenji's hand said like he had to do, right? Like he had to be proactive. I mean, he could have probably waited a turn if he had like a Pyroblast, but if he doesn't, like what are you gonna do? Not use your mana? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. If you're on that school of thought like you're saying, which seems like the way to go. Man, lost that Brainstorm. That's tough.
I mean, you want to know my opinion? I think hitting the Underground Sea was even tougher. That's so stupid that Himdatora can hit lands. What a stupid card. That's just my formal like letter of resignation from Magic. Just like ban him. But looks like Kenji still has some gas. He's still got Liliana.
It really needs like Snapcaster or a Baleful Strix to really pair with these creature recursion effects to really get the max value to make up for the lost card advantage here.
Oh, you know what card was super exciting? Was this a second him?
Okay. All right. Well, this Liliana is still the best thing happening in this match.
Yeah.
So looks like we're gonna see a Baleful Strix from Yuta.
Metamorphose into Celestial Purge 1 time.
No.
Wait, what is that card? His own Bitter Blossom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we might see Yuta try and pile on this this Lily like we talked about earlier.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier, right? Like Lily can only tick up once a turn, like
next turn is gonna be 2 threats.
Right. All right, and here it is. Here's the low resource game state. Pyroblast your Brainstorm. You don't get to pull ahead. Only me.
All right, here we go.
Okay, that bolt was a good.
Is that the third brainstorm? I guess there's still pawners in the deck.
Oh yes, Jace.
All right.
What do you do here with the Jace? You Fate Seal or you?
I'll probably Fate Seal.
Well, Yuta continues to play super passively. I love it.
Really, you got to get some damage on this.
Planeswalker.
This Planeswalker.
Oh no!
Ooh, that's tough.
That is a sick top deck. I mean, Kenji's probably got like a Force of Will stuck in his hand, right? I think I saw it at some point.
What do you do with this bolt here? Do you give up the Jace or do you gamble?
I
Do you
take
gamble to him?
I take the gamble. I take the
Get
gamble.
left with the Power Blast in
I
hand?
want to draw
Oh,
cards,
he's
man.
Gambling. He's gambling. All right. Because
Oh,
like this Lily is kind of scary. I mean, if he can pull up one removal spell,
right.
it can get ahead of this Bitter Blossom and start threatening an ult.
Oh, but he saved the Jace. That's incredible. Wait, or did he top deck it? No, he saved it. He saved it for sure.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, that's
insane.
insane. I want to see this guy in the top 8 now. I found my hero for the tournament.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Wow.
This is a great event.
I love the gamble. Yeah, I love the gamble.
Oh, and he just massive top deck there. Holy moly. Or am I blind? That's not a Last Hope, is it? Is that a second? Is that a second Bitter Blossom? Is this is?
I'm telling you, second Bitter Blossom starts insane.
I'm just memeing here now. What is tempo? All right, well.
Power Blast back. I guarantee you that. I bet you Kenji's got a Force Will.
Yeah, no, we definitely saw it at some point from the hand cam. So, going to be pretty clutch when that Pyroblast.
No. I got discarded to him earlier.
Yeah.
I think he might have another one in hand.
Okay.
I'm just talking about for mannerisms.
Okay. Yeah. See, these are the sort of things that I'm just oblivious to. Shuffle the deck. Put back a Bitter Blossom.
Picked up a Lily. It looked like No. That Bitter Blossom looks like a Lily.
That's the Moto bug, right?
I think it persisted into Arena too.
Oh God, no!
It happened to me twice in a row, and I'm like, "Say it's not so. Don't follow me here."
So, Kenji's certainly not in a good position. Looks like he's got just lands in hand. Active Jace certainly does beat.
Do the judge shot.
I wonder how much time they have left. We can't actually see, but it's probably close to 0 at this point.
Oh yeah.
Or I don't know. Maybe it's even like hard to say.
I'll tell you one thing. Japanese players, they shuffle decks a lot faster than American players. I heard it mentioned earlier about showing the sideboard in the chat, which is like Japanese custom, which is really nice. I played a guy from Japan at a Grand Prix on Legacy, and I did the same thing.
Uh-huh.
And it was really nice, and doesn't take that much time.
Yeah,
especially they make up for it in their shuffling.
Romario was telling me that it's actually like by regulation you're technically supposed to show that you have 50 cards in your sideboard or something like that, or you're supposed to like show your sideboard so that it's legal or public information that there's not more than 15.
More or less, yeah.
But I mean, it's just like customary for a lot of Magic societies to just kind of interesting Magic societies.
Yeah, it could just be like culture, just like.
All right, well, the room is certainly empty. I saw 2 1s go down, so I'm going to assume that the players just drew.